Like Barbie is more of a like a really not. There's no story. It's just based on something about a toy.
Yeah.
Right. But like that other movie is a legit story, deep, really complicated. So like every time I look at people saying, "Oh, we're Team Barbie or Team," I'm like,
what are you comparing?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode for Podcast Tea. I think it's going to be episode number 9. I'm not sure about the counting. Today it's going to be me and Noor. So hi, how are you?
Hi,
How is everything doing?
I don't know, just getting more and more exciting every time we have a new recording going on. But yes, I'm very excited to be part of this episode today, and
this topic.
We keep saying episode, and I think it's an episode, but we're just used to saying episode, so do not
forgive our English. Basically, that's what she's saying, because remember, we're not foreign. We're not foreign. We are foreign. See, I'm telling you. But anyway, what's the tea today, Noor?
I don't know. So the tea is literally. So let's talk about the actual tea. So the actual
tea. Oh, yes. You want to start with our actual tea?
Let's talk about today. The actual tea is ginger mango green tea. Green tea.
Smells so good.
There's no more than
I'll give you that.
See, Starbucks got us used to saying so many words. So now it's just the ginger mango green tea. So it's just very relaxing. How do you like to smell
still, the smell is really strong and really good, but I still like black tea more. I don't know. This
is fun. See, we can do black tea every day, but I don't know. I feel like we have to change it up. Otherwise, we're going to stop recording.
I agree.
But moving to the tea.
Yeah, like what's the tea today?
The Oppenheimer and Barbie. It's been just like everywhere I look. On Twitter, everybody's tweeting about it.
Am I the only one who does not care? Like every time I look at the titles, I'm like, I don't care about what's going on. But tell me, what's going on about it?
I just think it's two big movies coming out on the same day, but I think the biggest thing, I am a huge Cillian Murphy fan. Like he's just my favorite actor since the Peaky Blinders, and I've been just kind of following him pretty much. He's a great actor, and he doesn't take whatever role, and it's just, I believe Christopher Nolan is the director of the Oppenheimer, and can be. You can go watch it, I believe, July 21st when it's coming out. And there's only 30 movie theaters that you can see it in an IMAX setting.
Oh, yeah, it's on IMAX?
The US.
Nice. I didn't know they made it on IMAX.
Yes, but I thought there's some where I live, and looks like I need to make a trip to go see it in an IMAX setting.
We don't have IMAX where we live.
Oh, I know, So it's just been a lot of Barbie. Everybody loves Barbie. We grew up with Barbie until I saw a meme that says, me being a Brad Stolz fan sitting in the Barbie movie. Because, when we were growing up, there was the Brad Stolz and there was the Barbies.
Yeah.
And there's like these Brad Stolz fans saying, we're going to go and sneak into a Barbie movie.
I have a question. Like, both movies, when it comes to based on what story or what's the characters, are told different categories. So why people even fighting about which one is going to be better? Like Barbie is more of a like a really not. There's no story. It's just based on something about a toy.
Yeah.
Right. But like that other movie is a legit story, deep, really complicated. So like every time I look at people saying, "Oh, we're Team Barbie or Team," I'm like,
what are you comparing?
Yes, it's not like I'm comparing. There's a Spider-Man and Superman 2 movies came out that I feel like, okay, I can compare.
It's not like a Marvel movie. It's a whole different.
It's a total different category.
I believe one is Universal and the other one, I forgot who's shooting it for, but there are even 2 different companies, Warner Brothers and Universal.
That's probably why they made it in the media. It looks like that because any human being, we should not like really worry about. I think
the first thing ever that got everybody kind of that put it in the competition is the release date, to be released on the same I think that's what all started.
Probably that's how it come as a like, let's compare what team is
Because if one
what
was to be released August 1st and the
Yeah.
other one July 21st, then who cares?
Of course.
But on the same, like the premieres, and they are comparing, but I feel like people in the tweets is what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go there to just
People's reactions are usually what made the whole event spicier.
So that's been the tea. And I don't know, guys, tell us what you're going to be watching. Are you going to be watching both, or I don't know.
I don't know if I'm gonna ever watch Barbie. It's not my style, but I think I would love to see what they did out of this toy as a story. You know. Okay, so we will jump to the topic that we had today.
The TTT.
Yeah, the triple T. Today we're gonna talk about sleepwalking. And we're gonna take us in the details of the whole thing at the first, and then we're gonna just jump in with some stories that we heard about it and personal experience. I'm not gonna tell you who, but yeah, you'll figure it out. Okay, Noor, talk to us about it.
So actually, this topic got inspired from just a personal experience. I think we just want to bring more awareness of sleepwalking. So sleepwalking is a form of sleep disorder. And of course, it was diagnosed, I believe, back in the 1700s. I know it was a big thing in the 19th century where people started, I believe in German doctors, they started kind of putting, like labels on it and not just a mysterious thing that humans just do without feeling. So sleepwalking is more common, and it happens more in children than adults. And it happens in the ages of 2 up to 12 years old. And after that, it kind of just goes away. And some adults actually still experience sleepwalking. I think we don't think of that as a daily thing. I think like nowadays, the big topics are, which not to belittle the other things, but we're talking about mental health and depression, but I believe sleepwalking is a serious disorder that a lot of people really struggle with it. And because honestly, it's you, like I'll just say, if you're sleepwalk, you feel like you have no control of your own self when going to bed. So going to bed, people usually go to bed and they should rest, not be worried about what they're gonna do after they fall asleep. And I think that's, I don't know, but if you don't sleepwalk, don't take that for granted. Enjoy your sleep. But there are some adults, I believe about 5% of the US population at least, still actually sleepwalk in adult wise, which I think it is. And what I read a lot of the studies, and there's a lot of, I'm glad that it was not basically taken as of a weird thing back in the days before science came in, and probably they start killing people for sleepwalking, and instead they are. Wow.
No, like back in the history, they're saying, like how they think if someone's
they viewed them maybe as witches.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. It's like witches, if you know a cure for something because you know how to use this kind of like planet or whatever, they'd be like, oh, she's like something, let's kill her.
Yeah.
So they used, back in the days, we did not have that much of knowledge and science. So I'm glad that it was not treated that way back in the days. I'm glad that scientists was able to
recognize it
as one of the troubles in sleep problems, right? And as you said, usually like it happens a lot higher in a percentage for kids, but then after they are like in a teenage stage, should go away.
And there is a reason behind why it happens a lot in the children. So here's a fun fact. So basically, one of the hormones that, the growth hormone usually gets developed in children whenever. So, okay, I'll back up a little bit here. So usually we have 4 stages of sleep, right? So we have 4 stages. So the 3rd and the 4th stage is basically the deep sleep, is you basically dreaming, right? You're in that foggy setting, you're sleeping. In children, whenever they get to stage 3 and 4, usually that's when the growth hormone gets released so the children can grow, which is why it occurs a lot in children ages between 2 and 12, because their body's still growing. And therefore, that's the kind of stage where the sleepwalking start happening, is between them being sleep and wakefulness. They're kind of awake too, but they're not. But there's, of course, more causes to it. So what are the main causes?
Well, I know they are saying it can be anything. Basically, you go on with that, like with a full bladder before you sleep sometimes. If you...
Something that forces you to awake.
There's something that you did that would make your body not feel comfortable and had to be awake, right? So for adults, sometimes it happens if you have a lot of alcohol, if you're stressed, if even if your bed is not that clean as an environment.
Really?
They're saying even if you change
the Virgos,
like they're saying even if you change your bed, like if you went to a hotel and it's been like years for you, you did not change where you sleep, and it happened all of a sudden
like
for
a different
you.
environment. Like maybe when people travel and go somewhere new.
Yeah, but like not for like, for example, we travel a lot. We go to sleep in different hotels. We're used to it. But for a lot of people, they're saying if it happened all of a sudden after like a really long,
paranoid, maybe.
like, and they're like just weirded about the whole place. It might happen. But again, like it's sometimes it is. We go back to it to be inherited from your family.
Genetics. Yeah, so I think major part of it is genetics.
A lot of it
Mostly.
is genetics, but
they say 40 to 60% is genetics.
Yes, and like for you as a kid, there is the normal percentage. If you're not inheriting anything from it, like your parents never had sleepwalking in their life. When you're born, you will have like between 10 to 20% a chance you might experience it till you're 13. If one of your parents has it, that percentage will go up to 46%.
Ah, okay.
And then if both of your parents experience that, you will have a chance, like 61%. That's how the percentage. So by default, you will have it if any of your parents did experience sleepwalking.
So, question.
Yes.
I don't know if you read this, but how long a sleepwalking episode lasts?
From what I read, I read a lot of different views. Some people say it's a couple minutes, and some of them said it does not last after half hour. But a lot of the researchers are saying it can go up to hours sometimes.
Hours?
Yes, I saw that they have a research in 2018 in one of the magazines. And it said there's like a new study showing people going for like couple hours with that, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know what did you read about it? What's your answer?
For mine, it says it can last from 10 seconds up to half an hour, because it can be short. But of course, going back to the causes, it can be genetics. It can be if you have a high fever, if kids have a high fever and they go to sleep, like expect your child to might sleepwalk if they're 2, 3, or 4. And it's very important to know medications wise too. So if medications have anything that's sedative effects on the child, be aware that these things might happen. You might see an abnormal behavior, them getting up the bed, and it's creepy. It's not. You have to know how to deal with it. It's not you're gonna go to them running and trying to wake them up. There is a way of. A lot of scientists they don't advise of waking up the child or the person that's sleepwalking, is because basically what happens, you might, let's just say they're sleepwalking and then you go and you wake them up. And the first thing,
is there like a way, like we have to procedures
yes,
basically we
absolutely.
have to take?
So let's just talk about the sleepwalking thing. So mostly when children or adults sleepwalk, their eyes is open and they can navigate. So for example, if I'm sleepwalking, I will see everything here and I can recognize how to navigate between the chairs, the table, leave, go to the car, all that.
So basically, it's like
you see,
like your brain is awake, but the parts where it's functionality, like the thoughts or the thinking, is not.
The awareness
working?
is not up. So I can look at you.
Okay.
So first you'll have a glossy look and a blank, and your eyes look very glossy.
You have like what, poker face?
Yeah, like literally, you're glossy. But I would look at you and you think, I know you, but I don't recognize you, even though I'm looking at you, which is the creepiest part.
Wow.
You can be looking at your parents, your brothers, you're walking around, you do not recognize them because you have this blank and just like glassy look. So whenever you see somebody that's sleepwalking, the best thing to do is to guide them back to their bed. So like try to like just kind of take them back to their bed. That's like what you can do. Or if they're not being responsive, you let them be. Of course, don't let them harm themselves or throw themselves from a window or anything crazy. There's a lot of stories.
I was about to ask you, like, you're telling me to lead them softly and just do the leading without waking them up?
Yeah, you know, like, and sometimes they say things and like that you would understand. And sometimes they're going to talk, just, you're not going to understand what are they saying, because it's not a language. It's just, I don't know what it, like, they just like yapping about things that are
just like a lot of people talk in their sleep too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. It can be like.
So the best thing is to guide them back or let them finish up, because most of them, the people that do it more frequently, the people that has this, disorder, they know how to go back.
Yeah.
That was me.
oh yeah. So you have an experience about that, since I have some stories about it too, but for like random people. But let's talk about your own experience first.
So
since you had it.
I didn't recognize it was a thing until my mom started saying things about it when I was 10, I think, or like 9. Then I'm like, oh, it's a weird thing. It's not something that people are used to. So how would my mom describe me? Like, I'm like, how did she put up with me? She's like, you know, your hair is always a mess. And what creeps my mom so much, she's like, I would open my eyes and you're up in my face. Like, that's creepy. That's very much. That is
I would be running out of the house. No, leave me alone.
It's scary. And whenever your child is very young and they're just like looking at you and they're not smiling, they're not crying, there's no emotion.
So you're just like literally like this, standing.
And my mom tells me I used to just wake up in my bed, look around, and I just have this blank look. And I just don't
remind me to never sleep next to you.
And I just don't say anything, but I would make eye contact, but I just don't recognize anything. And the one time I walked out to the living room, I opened the fridge in the kitchen, took some fruits out, got back, and
you ate them?
No, but I put the TV on, and you know when there's no channel, so it's just like,
and you're just sitting there like with
just eyes open. So shout out to my parents for dealing with that.
Oh my God, I would be like literally running out of the house if that happened.
That's like horror movie style.
That's what I'm saying.
This is what I remembered.
But listen, I'm not tall or anything, so I don't know what growth hormone was going on. But
you as Noor, who had these, like, is that what your mom told you happened, or you do remember at least like what did you do?
So here's the thing: it started with me talking.
Yeah.
Until this day, I sometimes talk when I'm very tired. Like, I would say things.
I do know that.
Yeah. Like, I communicate. I'm a great communicator, even in my sleep. So it started with me just saying things that are just nonsense, which a lot of people, I feel like that happens. And then it started with me moving and going out, going down the stairs, going up the stairs. I mean, it's alarming for a parent to go to sleep and thinking, oh, I really need to watch out. Like, she might wake up at 2 a.m. and I need to know what to do.
No, but seriously, you when you walk in and now you're talking about it, do you remember yourself physically walking?
No,
or?
I can't recall anything. What I can recall is if they try to like lead me to my bed,
basically,
I would wake up on my way to bed sometimes, and then realize like, okay, like,
what the
that's
hell was
what
I
was
doing,
going
huh?
on. But I realized it was a big thing when my mom started taking me to, what was it? Maybe like a psychiatrist or a doctor. And my mom was like, I'm fed up.
She did take you to the doctor, so and
Yes,
she ended up
she
taking you
did.
for real.
Yeah, she did,
Okay.
because she thought there has to be a way, because I was getting older and it was still happening. And I don't think it was happening more often. It was probably like once every 3 weeks or once a month or something like that. But it's actually, like, looking back at it, which is why we're recording this episode, it's we just want to really bring awareness, because the person that goes through such thing, you feel like you have no control of yourself when you go to sleep. And I think that's something, I don't know, people have to come together and just acknowledge that and be there for each other, especially for adults. Because I feel like with all these stories I was reading, as I was researching, even though being a person that comes from an experience, like I have that in my background, which I think is genetics, and because I think it is. Let's not get into details, but you were reading too stories.
I have
people.
a lot. There's a lot of stories about him. They're like all short stories.
Yeah.
But the funny ones and like there's funny ones and there's ones that I really feel bad for the people. So there's this man who drove while he sleepwalked.
In a car?
10 miles.
10 miles in a car?
Yes.
Sleeping?
Guess where he was going though?
Where?
He went to his like mom-in-law, basically, mother-in-law house. He went inside
Yeah.
the house and he killed her.
Like actual killed her?
Yes.
Sleepwalking.
Her husband was
Did
about
he have a gun? Like, what was it?
I don't they didn't say the details. They just said he killed her. He ended up killing her. The husband,
That is...
yeah, the husband actually made it out of his hand, like he wasn't killed, and then he drove back in his car. He's still asleep.
And he drove back?
He drove back, and while he was driving back, he woke up, and he realized there was blood on his hand.
Oh my God.
So what he did, he drove to the police station, and look at what happened. He walked into the police station, hands up, with blood, and he's telling them, "I think I killed someone. I don't know what." And while he's looking at his hand, he realized that actually there is blood coming out of his hand because he cut his hand also while he's in that process. He wasn't charged at the end, but he was put like in a really, I don't know, like they put them in a hospital or something to be treated. But that's one of the cases. So
that is so
we're talking
severe.
we're talking about someone who drove 10 miles, killed someone, and hurt himself and turned himself to the police, which is, it means they are good people, but they just don't know what they're doing.
The trippy part about sleepwalking is you can talk back sometimes. Like there were times where like, hey, Nor, come back. And I'm like, I'm not coming back. But I don't know who I'm saying this to or who's talking to me.
Yeah.
So they're, most of the time they have attitude. So try to not.
She already have a sassy attitude.
No, but everybody, because we think we know what we're doing because we're so sure why we are out of the bed.
Yeah.
Like we know what we're doing. What other stories you might have for us? You're talking about the talking part. Yes.
What about a woman in 2005? She was 44. She went back to sleep at 10. After 2 hours, she woke up. She went to the room where she had a computer.
Okay.
She started her computer. This is all while she sleep. She started her computer. Okay.
Okay.
And then she sent 3 emails
to
her friends. She sent 3 emails to her friends. Okay. Now, the meaning of the emails, it did not have a meaning, but it wasn't like not words. You know what I'm saying? So in one of them, she was asking one of her friends to come. She's like, meet me tomorrow. And please arrange something for this hellhole. And please bring with you some caviar and champagne.
Oh, she's fancy in her dream.
So like, it's words. She's typing words. It's not like ABC,
That's
whatever.
what I'm saying.
Z,
There's sense of,
but when she put them together, it doesn't make sense. There is another one who actually she jumped in from the 25th floor.
I see. I read that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
There is someone who killed his wife because he was dreaming that in his dream first, before he before he sleepwalks, he was dreaming about a thief who jumped into their house.
Is that the person that shot his knee?
No, I don't know. That's a different story. But that's someone who killed his wife because he was dreaming about a person stealing their house. And then he ended up sleepwalking while he's dreaming it and jump into his wife thinking he's seeing her as she's that person. And he ended up just killing her in her bed.
That is sad.
So yeah, that's my stories. What do you have stories as?
Stories. So it was on ABC News in 2013. A guy in New Hampshire, he accidentally shot himself because he thought somebody broke into his house, and he sleeps and the gun is right next to him, like a shotgun actually. And he woke up and he found out that he shot his knee.
This is not funny. We're sorry. Like, it's not funny, but we're saying. But I don't get it. So like he had was it by mistake or he took it and shot himself?
No, he was killing the thief in his dream.
Oh my
God!
God!
He was defending himself. He shot up his knee.
I'm sorry. We should not laugh about that. But
guy in New Hampshire, we're not trying to make fun, but that was funny. I'm pretty sure you still laugh about it.
You're so mean. Why are you laughing over there?
Because that was funny.
It is. And imagine, hey, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you. Shout out to my knee.
Yeah, and it said you might be aiming at the wrong person yourself.
That's bad. That is bad. But yeah, no, I know it's... I'd never experienced it. I've never seen someone who around me experience it. So it's good for me to learn those stuff because if it happened around me,
you know how to act.
At least I have some information about it. I heard with the story that your mom was talking about her friend, and it's hilarious. Like, it's really funny. I was cracking. I still remember, like, last night I was sleeping, I remember it, and I was like, that is really funny. Do you want to tell them the story?
No.
Okay.
Because they're almost like relatives.
Okay.
But there's another funny story, and it was somebody on Reddit. And Reddit is just real people were literally sharing. So there was this lady. She's a veteran sleepwalker, so she sleepwalks usually. She rearranged her underwear drawer that it was filled with dolls, so she put every doll in an underwear. And another time, she ate the number 6 off her television remote. Like she chewed it.
What? Those stuff are like...
So the next day you wake up and something is missing. I was sleepwalking.
Yeah, that is... These are...
I can use that as an excuse, actually.
Hey.
Just because I go through it.
She may not sleepwalk anymore.
But she talk.
But she sleep talks.
Yeah.
I sleep talk still.
Like, yeah, you'll have Noor, like, all of a sudden you'll be asleep and you'll be like, Noor, you'll hear her saying...
Look at this one.
What?
This one. No, did with me the other.
What she did? Yeah.
So what, are we done?
He's going to say the story.
Hi, everyone.
Give him the microphone.
So one time...
Go ahead.
It's good. One time, I woke up in the morning. I look at the bank account and like probably $2,000 are gone. And I'm like, what's going on? What is happening? She's remembering. She's remembering. I was like,
I was not sleepwalking.
You were sleep talking. And I was like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, oh, I told you yesterday and you said yes. I'm like, what? She was like, I told you we're going to buy this thing tomorrow.
I bought an Ethereum.
And then, okay, she bought an ETH coin. It was like 1750, like, I don't know, 1780. And she was like, oh, bah, I told you last night and you said yes. And I'm like, what? Did I say yes? She was like, yeah, I told you and I said yes. And you said yes. She was asleep.
So
she woke up in the morning.
Yeah?
She thought she actually talked to me, and we had a conversation about it.
Oh my God.
And she actually executed.
But I thought I did.
So hold on, but the action.
That's what I'm dealing with, guys.
Like when she-
okay?
I
Do the
thought I
checks.
did.
Do the checks before you get married, okay? Like, talk about those stuff. I never talked about them, and I never knew.
Wow. Listen.
Okay, you were.
So
you're
basically,
supposed to be
no, but
part
like-
of this.
But basically, when you did the action, when purchasing,
Based
for
on my
whatever,
conversation with him, that never happened. Apparently.
but you were awake when you did purchase.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, you sleep. You sleep talk. I know that for sure. Okay, so your last advice when it comes to people who does have that issue still. What would you advise them to take as a procedures?
I would say my best advice I would give if you're an adult and you still sleepwalk, make sure you tell your neighbors and make sure if there's a police in your town to even let them know that's something you usually experience. And if you have a roommate or somebody you live with, they need to be aware of it because in the end of the day, you need somebody that you need to be supervised. I hate to put it like this, but we need somebody that can be our second set of eyes that can look after us just in case. You never know if you're stressed or you never know why they didn't really have a good reason for it. So it's good to have more people involved that, and also ask them that what is the best way to kind of guide you back to your bed, or because I'm pretty sure people that go through this, they have, they're different types and you have to deal with them differently too. So the best advice is communicate and let people know. But for a child, I'm pretty sure it's a parent's conversation.
Yeah, and for the person who's taking care of someone who have this sleepwalking issue, they always say they have a patron, so know their patrons. What exactly the steps they're doing. First one, they have the...
Actually, I read there is a patrons where people do the same thing every time.
Exactly. So it might be a pattern thing. So you know how to either change something for them so they can be awake without really waking them up.
Yeah.
So it does not affect them in any kind of way. And as Noor mentioned, like I think guiding them really slow, and they say even in like a really low tone,
Boys, yeah.
in a voice like, hey, let's
Yeah.
take you to the bed, and just guide
here's the
them to
bed.
their
You
place.
have to be very
just push them
nice.
towards it,
Yeah.
and that's it. So there's some medicines they give, which is basically for sleep, like deep sleep and all that. But most of the doctors said it should go away and it should not be there unless it's severe.
After you're grown.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one story that I'm gonna end this with.
Yes.
There's a lady who after a couple of months she start wearing stuff, and she figured out that she's really just gaining weight from nothing, right? Like everything is not fitting on her.
What?
And that's when she discovered she was actually finishing a whole box of cheese every night while she sleep.
What?
Yeah, don't give this as an excuse for taking like
No,
some
that's
weight.
the worst. You're gaining calories while you're asleep.
Yeah, and that's how
Without
she
meaning
discovered.
to.
Like every morning she thought her kids are eating the cheese, but after like couple months they tell her like, Mom, it was not us, and then she figured out that she's the one who's eating it while she sleeps, so that's why her cheese is not fitting on her or something. So that is something that can happen too.
That
People
is
can
so
eat.
funny.
Yeah, but I think that was it for me. Do you have anything else to add?
That's it. Just more awareness. Follow us. I hope this was short and sweet and to the point. Here's your host, Shally, and
Your host,
you have
Noor.
me too.
We'll see you in the next episode. Please like,
See you in the next
follow.
stream.
Yeah, nice one. Please like, share, subscribe, comments if you have
Actually,
anything you want to talk
See you in the next
about.
episode.
Yeah, of course we're going to be in the next episode. Hopefully next week. Have a good one. Let's
Bye.
go. Bye.